And then if they come back and say, hey, thanks for waiting, okay, no problem. So it makes you feel completely different. So the scenario was the same, the situation was the same, but how we made him feel was completely different. And that's all that's at stake with everything that we do in business. It's how we make people feel. The transactional element of customer wants, customer hands over money, customer gets, like everybody's doing that today. But not many customers are walking out thinking, wow, that was like a pretty cool situation. Even though I had to wait for 5 minutes, I loved it. They were really nice and I'm definitely going to go back there again. But you see it everywhere, we speak about it all the time. Everywhere you look, people are not self-aware enough and not given the confidence enough to do that. Because again, I think they're worried that if they say, oh, are you okay to wait? Like, it's going to start a confrontation. But like 99 out of 100 will, no problem. Yeah, fine. Because you just acknowledge me. If you acknowledge me, I'm significant. If I feel significant, I'm in the right place. It's almost like it's like celebrity status. We spoke about this before with the name thing. The moment we started to introduce the name more and more, and the name on the phone, and we knew who people were, and then we write their name on the business card, you elevate them to celebrity status. And that's what Starbucks do. So we write the name on the business card, and everything is just like so in tune to them as people, so that when they walk through here, the biggest sin, like I spoke about this before with dentists, you go in and like you're there every 6 months. It's fucking insanely bad that like they don't, like, hey Paul, like how are you, what you're up to, how's it been in the last 6 months? Like you've been going there since you were 3 and they don't even know your name when you walk through the door. Like they don't try, they don't have any, like nothing at all. And yet if they do, that bond that you're going to have is completely different, because you know that place is for you. They've recognised you, they've understood you. So the moment that we switched across to the name here, in our world, it's if you again, you guys are doing your job, you're sitting down at 9:05 and going, okay, there is 12 people coming through the door today. I'm probably not going to remember 12 names, but I can probably remember 2 or 3 in the next hour. And it's Steve, Sid and Mary. It's like, how difficult is that? So at 5 to 9, I'm going to take a punt at the fact that it's going to be Steve. And at 9:20, I'm going to take a punt that it's Sid. And at 10 to 10, I'm going to take a punt that it's Mary. Like, and if I get it wrong, so what? I'm going to get it right more times than I'm going to get it wrong. But the impact of getting it right is just through the roof. And the impact of getting that right is better than anything you'll do in there. Any massage, any ACL recovery, any whatever else that we do. What are we doing there now? I forgot. I haven't done it for so long. Whatever else that you do in there. Okay. Because they expect that. What they also expect is that what he's just described. And they'll tolerate it. It's like when you're on a plane and you say, if you got, can I have a glass of Coke? Well, Pepsi do. Oh, okay. It's like, you can hardly go to the fucking next like shop, can you, to get what you want. Like, you kind of have to tolerate it. So you're not necessarily happy, but you tolerated it and it was satisfied. But wouldn't it be wonderful if, absolutely, yeah, we've got Pepsi as well, which one do you want? Rather than like having to settle for the next like 12 hours, basically. So you tolerate that and it doesn't do anything to like add to the experience, but it doesn't do anything to negate the experience. But if they do give you what you want, it like adds to it significantly. So when they come through the door here, their number one job to get right is, hey David, how's it going? Me? You remembered me? Said it before. You like me, who like everybody else ignores. Me, whose Facebook page doesn't get likes and tweet and retweets. We've fucking been through this a few times. Like, he boots off. Like, this is James, right? James, who like does Facebook shit and the internet and whatever else, right? Boots off if he hasn't had a share or a like or whatever. It's like, how insignificant does he feel? I'm trying to make you feel significant. So again, it's back to that level of customer service, customer experience. If you can take them into that world, this is like Billy Bob right now, who's just bored, is being overlooked. Like, the cars don't even fucking stop for him half the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's lucky if he's pressed the Pelican Crossing and the cars have actually stopped. Like, at any point of his day, he's on boiling point. Like, anything goes on, he's like James. He's going to kick off if nobody recognises him. But it's happened for so long and for so many times that it's now just part of his day, so he just expects it. So he isn't necessarily going to kick off, because this is just what everybody does. So when the guy or the girl comes along and says, oh, hey David, nice to see you again, from the minute he opens that door, that should be the first thing that goes on. For you and for you and for you and for you, Jess, obviously when you two come back, whenever you decide to come back. But certainly for the next few months, that's kind of what you guys are going to have to pay attention to, because that changes the game. You elevate them to celebrity status the moment you do that. Starbucks introduced it, and I don't know if you were here when we first started doing it, but obviously you were. When I came back and said, I've seen this thing, I'm going to start putting names on business cards, I was like, what? Like, I'd studied the Starbucks thing, and it eventually made its way to Britain. So the reason that Starbucks put your name on a cup is, A, they can personalise what is a bog standard latte that is doesn't have any personalisation on it, and all of a sudden it's Paul's latte. But more importantly, when you're in the queue, so if you go to America and you're in a Starbucks, you know what's it like in Starbucks America? It's like it's completely different atmosphere to a coffee shop here, and there will be 15 people stood waiting for their coffee, and the girl takes great pleasure in shouting, "Paul, hey Paul, we're looking for Paul," and everyone's, "That's me, like it's me," and all of a sudden, like, that's Paul. It's like, that's Paul. So they've took you to celebrity status immediately. So are you going to keep going back to that coffee shop? 1,000,000,000%. Because they know who you are. And again, after 4 or 5 days, what you used to speak to me about it in Phoenix all the time, and it was just throwaway conversations. I love going in there. They get to know you. They know you from here, or they know what you're doing, because it all starts with the name. This is a coffee shop 6,000 miles away. We're talking about it right now.
Thanks for watching this video, and if you found it helpful, and if you now find yourself thinking, I wonder what else this person can help me with, head over to paulgough.com/books, where you can find my best-selling books, which will show you how to add more profit to your practice. Or send an email to paul@paulgough.com to ask about how we can help you accelerate the growth and profitability of your clinic. And by the way, if you know anybody who would find this helpful, please share this video out. Thanks so much.